किमान तुका कॅमेरा उलयत आसतना हिंगा पळय
Okay.
हिंगा पळय Sergeant of this side.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, take.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Point Counterpoint. This is supposed to be an extremely happy and joyous occasion leading up to the days of the carnival. The spirit is supposed to be festive and extremely happy as people are decking up their homes, their streets. Food is getting prepared. The musicians are tuning up their guitars and other instruments. This is actually a time, the carnival is actually the time when it is not just one city or one land. It almost seems as if the whole of civilization joins in an enjoined spirit of celebration to dance and drink and make merry. In one of the finest examples of celebration that humanity has actually seen. A lot of people say that it all started and we draw inspiration from the carnival in Brazil and in other parts of Latin America and other places. But Goa, actually the thing is, though the inspiration may have come from other lands, but the carnival in Goa actually is not just a festival or a spirit of just mere festivity. It has also become an identification, a cultural identification tag which Goans very proudly wear. It is something that attracts a lot of people into Goa. It is a magnet for tourism. But above all this, what is very important is that the carnival actually, deep down within, is a very simple festival where people celebrate it simply. Homes are thrown open and there's a lot of community spirit which is maybe away from the glitz and the glitter and the commercialization that we see. But it's all about beating of hearts and minds in a very simple, beautiful way, where homes and communities come together in this whole spirit of kingship. And this is what actually makes Goa extremely beautiful. And this was the spirit on which carnival was celebrated throughout the years. Gradually, and I would say over the last decade or so, the whole spirit seems to be wavering and changing into something which is commercial, and one could even go to the extent of saying crass. And the debate here is, the discussion today here is this premise actually right or wrong? Is this correct? Can we really question the fact that the carnival of today, of today's Goa, is no longer in the same spirit in which it was celebrated throughout the years, but has ultimately become not only a money-making exercise, but a time to flex power, maybe muscle, where egos and one-upmanship comes into play, because of which the people's spirit is getting completely killed. And this is what we are essentially asking, in the sense that has money power and crass power overtaken the spirit and the joy of the carnival? And this is a question that needs to be asked, because as most things are getting completely crushed under the weight of commercialization, it is with a tinge of sadness that many people in Panjim especially feel that the same thing is happening to their beloved carnival. Of course, the people who are in this panel, one is very honored to have some of the finest minds who can speak on this issue, who probably will know, or definitely know much about this than I do, who will deliberate on many of these issues and enlighten us on this subject. So one is here to mainly listen and learn. I will start by introducing, though he needs no introduction, Jack Sukija, who is the Vice President of TTAG, comes from one of the most well-known families in Goa, and at the same time has been part of the whole journey of the carnival and seen it through its various ages and in its various avatars. Next to him, Trajan De Mello, President of Lokancho Adhar, a very strong social and political voice of Goa. And Trajan Ba, welcome and we look forward to your views as well. Arnold Costa is a actor, one of the champions of Khel Theatre, and he is somebody who has again seen the whole movement up close and personal. And we'll speak not just about the carnival, but about Khel Theatres, because that also is very much a part of the entire milieu which draws the carnival together. Finally, we are extremely honored to have Timothy Fernandez, who is not only, we will not only call him a speaker or a panelist here, but he is somebody who we can easily say is the founder, the face, the inspiration of Goa's carnival. I mean, you go anywhere, you cannot talk about the carnival without taking Timothy Bab's name in the same vein. And so we are really honored to have him here, and there's nobody who can speak about it as best as he does. I will start by asking Timothy Bab, can you tell us about the carnival of those days and what you miss now?
Before, carnival was spontaneous. People was coming dressing in different ways and visiting houses, family houses, neighbors like that. Like that, before, I was dressing as a hampulle, and I was selling fruit to my neighbors and my family members. And people was very happy this thing. And mostly, many times, I was changing my dress. And people don't, afterward I was telling them. Like that, my brothers also, Lawrence, myself and एक party Gunesh केली पाडो येतालो भोंवपाक ते कितें म्हणटा आनीक घोडोय ते दोगांनी आनी दोगांय कोत्ताले आनी आमी जाण आसलेले कोणागेर भुरगीं जाय नासलेलीं कोणाक गोगोल मेळना आसलेली तिंगेर वच म्हूण घोणसाबय हांव म्हणटालो बाय बरो न्हवरो मेवल्यार पुरो तो म्हणटालो गणेश भाव बैल जातालो तो तकली आले एका बरो हिंगेर भुरगें ना एका भुरगें जाल्यार पुरो तकली आले ते सगळे तेका जाय पळय तें वी नोन बिफोर we know exactly what they require, and we was asking them, and we was making fun. Like that, many years, myself and my brother, every year we were changing. This is one of the fun.
Timothy, just tell us how you became the first King Momo, what happened from 63 to 67, who took the decision. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Once, I had a small musical group, one guitar, bongo, guitar, my brother Tommy was singing, and violin and something like that. And people was taking for birthdays, free of charge. One day, Mr. Vasco Alvarez, the chief officer of Panjin, he was inviting, he got two sons, he was inviting for his birthday. One day what happened, we was playing, thereupon I saw one magazine from Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. And I read that magazine, and I got some inspiration I decided to organize the same what I have read on paper to organize. And I decided for next Saturday, that means afterward, I decided I call a Gado from Mercedes, then from Mercedes, and I call it near Pont de Lignas. And I spent ₹1 per paper, this crepe paper. ₹1. ₹5 paper I was getting colors.
Purchased at J.D. Fernandez only?
No. We was getting for ₹1, 5 paper, different color. I made tir gele and Gado nesoilo. And I called all my neighbors, neighbors and a friend. I called them near the Ponte, and I dressed it as a king buffalo gado, and he singing. I decided to go up to Jardin Garcia the order.
Right, right.
By going, people don't know what was happening and what group is existing.
Right, right.
Then people were looking. Then what happened? By going to this thing near the secretariat, boy will get excited because with
People-
noise.
Yeah.
Right, 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 right.
With noise.
Right.
Then what happened? Gado got
Gado.
got down and
You try to break the...
young Malay got it. And if you slowly go reach to Jardi.
Right, right.
This was 65. So that I spent gade kare 5 rupiah delay. So that my expense for 465 is
For 5 rupees.
6 rupees.
6 rupees.
6 rupees.
6 rupees.
5 rupiah.
6 rupees.
Next year, I decided to organize better way. Then I told, there was one jeep municipality. I asked, and he was a chief officer. I asked Mr. Vasco, Master Maji, please give me your open jeep because I'm going to organize carnival this second time. And he obliged.
Right.
Obliged. Then this time I kept my brother Lawrence, and
Yes.
I organized a small procession.
Procession, yeah. Some
Float,
musicians,
yes.
something like that.
Some I brought some small groups, and
So it became little bigger.
bigger.
Right.
So that I came walking
Hmm.
the same route. I reached to Jardi. For that, I paid 5 rupiah musician, 4 musicians, 20 rupees.
20 rupees, huh? Right.
Put first 65. I spent
First carnival was 6 rupees total.
6
expense.
rupees.
Second was
and
20
second
rupees.
20 rupees.
Hmm.
5 rupees.
3 times jump. What is that?
This one. Then
Uh,
the Vasco told to the chief minister, he was good friend, and I was going for serenading. He also known
Saw
to
you.
me.
Huh.
They decided to organize in bigger way.
67.
67.
Hmm.
Then they made a committee, which Mr. Mayakar, that
Gopal Mayakar.
Mayakar was the Minister of Tourism that time.
Hmm.
So that they made committee and we decided to organize better way in officially 1967.
Right, right.
From 67, the carnival is going on.
So you became King Momo again.
First move, first
No,
king
no,
official.
first again,
Official.
official.
Okay.
Now, what happened? After some time, within 1 or 2 this thing, I thought and I proposed, why only carnival this thing in Panjim?
Right, right, right. You took
Then
it
I decided to organize in North Goa and South Goa.
Right, right.
Again, the committee requested me to become
King
king.
Momo.
Purtant 3 times officially.
Ah,
Then after some time, chief minister of Mapsa municipality,
Chief officer.
I known to me, he requested me to organize in Mapsa King Momo.
Right, right. Okay.
But
Yeah. Please complete. Then I'll come.
so that 1 year there was not problem. I was not getting groups. But second year, I brought some group from different parts because I was known to group, and I started carnival in Mapsa. Then I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just come back to you. Timon, I'll come back to you again.
No,
Let's just
just to finish.
finish. Okay, sure.
Then what happened? In one occasion, Minister Silvera, Mapsa, he have felicitated to me. This was in regarding King Momo.
No, we'll come back to you for more fascinating story. See, Anil Bab, from his story, one has understood how simple and how beautiful times were, and during those times there was no issue of seeking permissions or blocking roads or taking. It was a very simple issue of the people of Panjim or one person in Panjim getting people along and simply walking down the streets and celebrating in a spirit of festivity, without any other frills or without any further baggage or complications. When you look back at those times and look at what is happening now, especially in these years in the city of Panjim, when the whole thing has changed, what do you feel?
Yeah, before at village levels, mostly in south and Salsit, they used to have Jomni Vele Khel, which is now called Khel Theatre. So what they used to do, they used to go and perform in each and every village. And while going from one village to another village, they have to walk on the road, walk and go. And behind band was there.
Right.
And at night time, Petromax was there. So this was there. And they used to go and play. And they used to make a circle. Not like this. Now this year, they make a stage, or otherwise one backdrop is there. Some carnival photos.
Right.
So, and they used to perform. And mostly plays on Badkar and Munkar.
Right. Most place. Yes.
And they used to say like this.
Oh.
The circle, there was a circle, and he started the letter. And so, my friend Barkar used to say, he goes to Munkar house and say, "Are Zumao, तुगे बाळला हमारे घराकडे तिक आमगे धाडल्या ताका तिका पागार बिगार मेळटा न्ही रे पयशे दित मरे हांव तिका आमगे धाड रे अरे हाले मुगे घराको पाड आहा माडांक पाड आहा ताका लागून हांव आपोय जायला तुगे पयशे पडे देवार बट रोजा मातशें आमगे धाडी बड बळकारा धाडटा आनी कितें करतलो हांव तुगे भाटांक रावत न्ही धाडटा बरें देन वन स्मॉल सॉंग मागीर एक पाटी कोण बॉम्बे वयतालो बॉम्बे वयच्या वयता हांव बॉम्बाय गोंया रावून आतां जायना कांय पयशे जातो जाल्यार गोंया कांय जायनाय देखून वयता हांव बॉम्बाय. So if you go to jobs, you used to get in Bombay. Goans used to go and get in Bombay. So this. And what happens? They used to walk on the road. Now what happens? Now they make a bus. And they travel by bus.
Right.
From one village to another. Yes. And they perform.
So what is the difference that you feel from these wonderful days and now?
See, carnival is, according to me, is a necessity. After working for 1 year, this 3 days.
But that version or today's version?
No, that version was good.
Okay. But, okay, we'll come back to you. Rajan Bab, see, we've heard two veterans speaking, and it warms the cockles of our hearts to get at least a little glimpse of what life was then. You may have seen it. I unfortunately have not. But the point here is that from the simplicity of how it all started and the kind of money that was put in, and if you look at those figures, what do you get a cup of tea with that price now? And the beautiful way in which he explained in his own musical, unique way. So it just shows the happiness which was there, barring complications. But right now, do you feel there are a lot of people who feel that there's politics, power, money, everything has been infused into this, which takes away the basic simple spirit with which they started their carnival life.
See, the ethnic carnival, what used to happen in the villages, I still remember I used to be a part of it. As he said, he was selling fruits. We used to take some bazaars. I used to dress up like a girl or something, go. And people would oblige and buy it because it was a fun to encouragement. It was like an encouragement, not to buy it because the bazaars are tastier. It could be not even eaten afterwards, but to oblige. But as he just now said about a song,
Right.
that we are going to Bombay because you can't earn any money here. Today, the carnival leaders who have organizing have learned how to make money here on carnival itself.
Right.
What you can earn on carnival, you can earn for 6 months.
Right.
Actually, that has become it's become an absolute commercial
Yes.
game.
Right.
It has lost that ethnicism.
Yes,
That now,
correct.
for example, I have heard in San Tome, Fontanes, these are the ethnicity of Goan is
Yes.
there, is
Yeah,
not
yeah.
available in the Goan villages today.
Correct. The nerve center of the carnival spirit.
You can see the Goanness in these areas when you
Right.
walk.
Right.
Even if you go into the villages, sometimes you are lost. You
Right.
don't see that. And yesterday I said it also, somebody wanted my reaction, that they wanted to celebrate it. Celebrate here on the streets, where families come together. And
Right.
it's not a profit thing, it's not a money making racket.
Correct.
And which does not disturb the main carnival.
Right.
That is a very huge thing for these people, these streets to just.
Correct.
But yet the government seems to be not in a mood. I just was trying to inquire, not in a mood to grant permission. I really cannot understand. Are you killing the spirit, or is it just money making? It has happened. The greed of money is such. Forget carnivalism. Goa is finishing. The greenery, everything is going for a toss. And I am telling you very confidently and very proudly, for the last night I am thinking, these areas of San Tome, you will not get in the villages. They are ethnic, that Goan
That's
is
true.
there.
Correct. Yes.
And I am sure the government, if it is not giving, they know one thing very well, that the crowd that comes to see, especially the tourists
Right.
who come to see that, will not go there, but they'll walk in the streets. Because they will see both. They'll see the real Goan
Correct.
architecture all around, the Goan village, the Goan folks, how the real Goan culture would come out. But therefore, as he said, we are going to Bombay to make money. Now, not Bombay. Here, you
It's all
can get
here.
it here.
Right.
Go to the captain of ports. All the casinos are in line. Take the sponsorship as much as you want. Today, in the name of Carnival, more money is collected than even if you have to bribe for a construction license.
Strong words these, Jack. Coming to you, you've heard all of them. Listen very patiently. The idea is that, since this is a people's festival, should the government say, look, at the end of the day, we leave it to different communities, different wards, different villages to celebrate it exactly the way they want to. The government should not act as any kind of either a big brother or a permission giving institution. Let it be kind of free for all. Wherever a little bit of law and order and management is needed, let the local communities kind of get together and do it.
I think you have hit the nail on the head with that
Right.
suggestion, Sujay.
Right.
Absolutely, you can see the enthusiasm. Our friend
Of course.
Arnold has broken out into a
Song,
theatre
correct.
style.
Yes, yeah.
So where if you go on the float parade today, or what is manifested there, where do you see this enthusiasm? You just see some techno jazz or
Correct.
something.
Correct.
So from what I understand and what I've heard is that Carnival originally started as things celebrated at community level, like Rajan Bab, Timot Bab said, you would start in the villages.
Right.
And today what is unfortunately happening is it's become such associated so much with brand Goa that there's big money in it.
Right.
When there's big money, there are invested interests who want to just capture the money. And in the process, they are killing the true spirit of it. So
Right.
the best thing for the government to do is let there be involvement with the locals,
Right.
people who want to celebrate it, and they basically just let it loose and see there's a little bit of law and order. And the more you disperse it, the better it is for
So this time we heard even Rajan Bab was saying that there was this whole attempt to kind of revive the traditions of old by doing a carnival called Carnival the Pov and have a people's carnival.
Yeah, the very streets here on the
Yes.
streets.
So and since kind of we hear that you are also connected to that spirit. So can you tell us what is still being planned even as we speak?
So basically, this concept came up around, I think over the last 2 years, people have been making documentaries on the traditional carnival. Vince Costa from
Kurturi,
Kurturi
yes.
and all has
Yes.
been making.
Yes.
And this idea came that let's try and revive the local community spirit. So this would have been an experiment wherein we would see how it would work.
Right.
So the people of Sao Tome had planned a carnival, the people of San Sebastian at Fontaines, and one at Rebandar
Right.
along the badminton
Right.
square.
Right.
So this was called Carnival the Po. Basically, from the local community, people would open their kitchens. They would come out on the streets. There would be some bands performing. There would be
Right.
music. There would be a local. There would be a King Momo would walk with one small float, something like his bullock cart.
Right.
Was done by locally.
Right. Right.
And this was planned. This is still in the pipeline. Unfortunately, somewhere along the line, some vested interests seem keen to sabotage this because they feel it will become popular, and maybe from having a concentration of resources at one point where money can easily be made, it will be dispersed to various people. So right now we are struggling for permissions, and as on date, the applications are still with the collector. We are still hopeful by today evening we should receive it. Hopefully, the Panjim MLA, I think, is very busy right now. He doesn't want to meet people, but hopefully he takes it up in the interest of people and gives us the necessary.
Yeah, because we were actually speaking to a lot of people here, especially women of households, who were very enthusiastically getting ready to do their bakes. People have come together. Provisions have been bought. So somebody is baking a cake. Somebody is cooking other kinds of food, and to all bring it out onto the streets to sell and so on and so forth. So that spirit was getting revived. Local musicians were getting ready to play. I believe there was a local King Momo also who was supposed to come and all that. So all these
all
things,
the routes, everything was marked, everything was on board. CCP was on board.
Let's hope. It kind of works. Rajan, now that it all comes down to one serious question that we need to ask. That should festivals like this, or should occasions of joy as carnivals are, and I was saying this to Jack as well, should it be officially handed over to the people to celebrate it the way we want, with the institutions and the systems of governance stepping back and only stepping in when it comes to basic things like maybe a little bit of traffic management and so on and so forth?
See, that would be the ideal thing. It would be the best thing to revive the old ethnic scenario.
Right.
But the way we are progressing,
Right.
governance is progressing. They are not interested about going back. They are trying to go back to the cart age.
Right.
You see, they are interested to make the fastest buck. Where do I get to make the fastest buck? How do I get to make the fastest buck? If I can allow permission to fill this paddy field, I make 10 crores. If I want to preserve the paddy field, I get nothing. Though the greenery and the oxygen and the the lungs will be there. You're not bothered about the lungs. You see, that's what I tell you. The greed has taken us to such an extent that nobody wants to see who's enjoying. I have to enjoy. If I am enjoying, and even you don't enjoy even after getting the money, this is another problem, but they don't realize it. Having eyes we don't see, having ears we don't hear. This is the situation today. We have ruined everything, and even what is left, we are not hesitating to ruin that too. Getting carnival back on its feet to the cart age, what I would call it, which was that real enthusiasm. People just following. Even the bull did not know what was happening. Suddenly, he got abuse. Right? So the question is, are we interested in saving what is left? Is the first question. And that does not only begin with carnival. It begins with a lot of things. Only that is mindset. The mindset is to preserve whatever is left. Chalo, let's not talk about the past. But we don't have that mindset. The mindset is, how do I make the fastest buck? And once that is the mindset, then don't think about getting that old cartage carnival back.
Correct.
Where the people of the village, see, as I told you, I'm again repeating, yesterday I've been thinking, the villages of Goa are no more the earlier villages.
Right.
And therefore you cannot say everybody comes together, because you have the demography is totally changed. But San Tome Fontaine is this Kazapo is the real village in the city.
Right.
The architecture is there to see. The people are there, the real Goans. Maybe a few, one or two, non-migrants or some businessmen.
Right.
But otherwise, this you cannot get in the villages today.
That's right.
And you're not prepared to give license for this, who are trying to, who are also well advanced people. They have got enough money. They don't need this. But they're trying to just keep something alive so that families come together.
Right.
They unite together. That love of neighborhood starts spreading with this type of occasions. But the government is not interested in this. Government wants divide and rule. Don't come together. They are threatened immediately. That is the policy.
Yes. Anandbab, again, take us back to the past. Tell us a little bit about the Khel Theatras and how it originated, and over the years, how you all have managed to preserve this beautiful culture.
See, before the carnival used to do, this Khel used to do as a tradition. Traditionally, they used to do, even now. But government is doing like a commercial activity.
Even the Khel Theatra.
Yeah, even Khel. Now what has happened? Now we make 3 plays.
Right.
One khel consists of 3 plays, or
Right.
1 place.
Hmm.
Here we make 3 plays.
Hmm. Hmm.
Each play is around 32 minutes to 1 hour.
Right.
So 3 plays. Then there are kantush.
Hmm.
Kantush means there are the songs inside.
Hmm.
Within the play only.
Right.
One is opening chorus, then kantush. Kantush means within the play
One song.
songs.
Right.
Yeah, song.
Hmm.
It is around 8 to 10.
Hmm.
Mostly 8 to 10. So this is to be there, and still it is there.
Hmm.
But on the part of the government, I'm sorry to say,
Hmm.
no help from the side of the government.
To promote Khel Theatre.
Yeah,
Okay.
promote Khel Theatre. This is Zomni Wala Khel especially.
Hmm.
I am the president of Konkani Non-Stop Theatristanji Sanstha.
Right.
We in combine with all the Khel Theatre of especially from the south, we have formed one committee and we have given one letter to the president of TEC, Mininda Bandar,
Right.
Theatre Academy of Goa.
Right.
It's a government body,
Right.
government corporation.
Right.
It's a government body. We had given one letter and we told him, see, at least 2 to 3 you give us the place. Sponsor at least 2 to 3 plays,
Right.
which till date nothing is.
So Khel
come from
Theatre are
them.
not sponsored at all by the
Not
government.
not
Right.
at all sponsored. by
And
the
how many
government.
such
It is very, very, very difficult to survive, Sujay Bab. It's very difficult.
So how many do you manage to stage every year?
Every for 3 days, 5 plays, 5
Right.
places,
Mm-hmm.
5 different villages,
Right. Right.
and we are going by bus.
Right.
We are going by bus. We hire a bus. Bus is costing around 25,000 rupees,
Hmm.
and we go by bus from place to place. Now this year,
Different villages.
different villages. Now from Salset Kuttori, we will be traveling to Kanakona because Kanakona they want.
Right.
The chief officer who is
Correct.
known to me,
Correct.
they said, I want your place there.
Right.
So 9 o'clock we said we are coming there, but we will reach by 9:30, and by it ends it will be around 1 o'clock.
Right.
By 2:30.
So all these
we
expenses-
will reach home.
these
And
expenses
then
are
next day, next
again.
day you have to get up again.
So these expenses are all borne by
No,
community.
expenses are borne means they
You
give
collect.
us money.
Right, right, some money is
Like
Hmm.
some give 12,000, some give 15,000, some give.
But there's no
18,000.
proper institutional support and
No.
backing is
Yeah,
not
yeah,
there.
yeah. But
Right.
even it is difficult.
Right.
Now we put brass band. We
Right.
don't use electrical band.
Right. Right.
Brass band.
Hmm.
So brass band is very costly, 40,000 like that. They are musicians are
Can't
charging.
get him.
Right.
Only trumpet.
Right.
We call him Mestri, no?
Right.
Mestri.
Right.
Who writes solfege and all. So he is charging 40,000 rupees.
Right.
Then there is one guitar is there. Then saxophone is there. Trumpet is there. And one organ is there.
Hmm.
And one drum. So it's very difficult for the directors. And some of the directors they left this year because it's too costly.
But you're still trying to do as much as possible.
Yeah.
Right.
We do as much as possible.
So there are different groups like this working in South Goa, North Goa, everywhere, or
No,
Basically
no.
South Goa.
Basically in South Goa. North
Right.
Goa is not much.
not much? Correct.
But,
South Goa, it is
but
Salset.
after
Salset,
Carnival,
Yes.
after Carnival,
Right.
now last 13 years something, 12 years,
Right.
this TEG, Theatre Academy of Goa, they are organizing Carnival in Khel Theatre in Panjim.
Okay. Okay.
And this year it will be in, every year they used to have there, where, Kala Academy.
Okay,
Now they
okay.
have transferred here,
Right.
Azad Maidan.
Other than that, right.
So, so one play you have to perform.
Right.
It has to be 30 minutes, not more than 45 minutes.
Okay.
So, and they give some 35,000 something they give.
Right, right. Okay, back to Timon Bab. Timon Bab, again, we'd love to hear about the past. Can you tell us now one little anecdote of the 67 carnival, the first official carnival? Tell us a little bit about the whole thing, your role as King Momo, what kind of floats were there, what did you all do? Just take us back to that day, that year.
After
67,
Yes. People, the government did not know. I shown them how to organize King Mohamed's flute. I had a car, old car, Vauxhall Victor. Old car I bought for 5,000, which was Mrs. Arlota from Purbury.
Right.
That time I don't have the license,
Right.
but his son is my relative. and that what happened? That car, I use it to make first float. I spent money, and I stood on my car, Vauxhall Victor, and afterwards I wanted to remove this thing, what I have done, but what happened? The mechanic we have given for repair. He died, and the car also is spoiled.
So where is that car now?
I paid money, this thing, and he was operated. So that car, and he told to nephew to mechanic. He also delayed.
So the car went to hospital, the doctor died. Okay.
Then I saw this thing, how to start with King Mohammed period. Then I made that one. Afterward, the government, they was bringing floats from Maharashtra, Bombay.
So how many floats were there? The first carnival, how many floats were there?
Before, in my time, there was no
floats.
from 74.
It was only King Momo,
Right.
and then people following that.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
But 1974, Club National members, all children of this thing, they made a float. And from Francis Martins brought that to 1974.
Right.
And from that, the people,
Started joining.
many groups joined.
Started joining.
Once, in 1 year, there was competition from groups, competing groups. There were many groups. Once, one group, they made a sarbat, which Coca-Cola, all these things, urrak and gin, barrel kele. And because girls all get tired now, and they were drinking that thing. They not know what sarbat was that. What sarbat that was that. And what happened after parade, that girls was sleeping in the pras. People was sleeping. That was problem. Then father, the church, and all these things.
Stop this. This is not correct. Yeah, this is spoiling the whole
propaganda. And fathers and mothers, for many years, they are not allowed to participate for parade.
See, one thing what I was looking at when Mr. Adal spoke just now,
Yes.
how the system is getting killed and who are the cause? We are the cause. Ultimately, we are the cause,
Yeah, 100%.
even killing this. Now, what he said, this Khel Tiyat that he approaches TAG, which is a Tiyat academy.
Right.
Now, my understanding is Tiyat academy or the real, there is a difference between Tiyat and Khel Tiyat.
Right.
Khel Tiyat is that ethnic old carnival what we talk. That old Tiyat is that.
Right.
Zomni wale kara.
Yeah, is the real Tiyat.
Right.
This is our real Tiyats today. What we see in Karakademi and are developed, progressive, like
Right.
the carnival parade,
Right.
with big sponsors and
Right.
big tickets and all that. You get what I
progressive,
mean?
yeah.
So is TAG itself, by not supplying oxygen to them, killing it on its own, is again another.
We need to talk about. Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Jack, after hearing all this, now the thing is, now we know that the whole system has been taken hostage in a way. Okay, that's what people are actually saying. Now, what is the way out of it? In the sense that where will the solution come from? Who's going to look into this? And what is the role that people have or important citizens have to solve this matter?
I think everything goes through stages, Sujay. We
Yes.
started off by going on some small scale, people, participating. Then it became a bigger event, you had floats.
Correct.
But big is not necessarily much better, right? You keep
Absolutely
on growing bigger. There are issues with that.
Yes.
And I think the time has now come to disperse it, to see that more and more the community spirit is brought back, because like Trajan Bab also said, all over Goa the Goanness is going,
Right.
and this is something which is unique to Goa. The rest
Right.
of India doesn't
Right.
have it. So
Right.
people should increasingly ask this question: is where is all this money going, or where are all these funds going? What is the product we are getting out of it,
Correct.
and where is our involvement? If it's
Correct.
supposed to be our festival, we should be allowed.
Right.
And I think the elected representatives should, somewhere, when it comes to local cultural things, they should take a firm stand and say we support this, because it is good for communities in the end.
Right.
If a happy community is good for
Right,
the
everybody.
government
Correct.
and everyone. So I think elected representatives should come out strongly in favor.
A happy and united community is very dangerous for the government. You see, that is very, and that is the whole policy. See, once a voter votes, his whole right is gone. There is no what you call that, any accountability. I'm not answerable to anybody. Your own representative doesn't want to meet you on a very important issue. Is an answer.
What about empowering the panchayats with a little bit of funds, all the panchayats, okay, to celebrate it in the different panchayat areas? See, municipalities it happens, but my point is the whole spirit needs to go into the different villages. Why don't we, either the funds can go to the Zilla Parishad or it can go to the panchayats, and that fund can be used to promote local groups, local musicians, and all of them to celebrate it in their own little villages and wards.
As long as the funds reach the right people,
It should
it should not happen what's happening.
What I'm essentially saying that rather than going to different sponsors or corporates and others, why don't we why doesn't this become a community thing, and essentially empower different local bodies and give them
I think
a few
the-
funds,
yeah.
and you don't need to make it very expensive. Make it simple.
No, I think the system still exists like that theoretically. Like we're very good at designing systems theoretically, which
right.
are very good. Like
Right.
tourism department,
Right.
like Timon Bab said, was
Right.
the one who was the first official sponsor.
Right.
That power still vests with the tourism department.
Right.
What the tourism department does, it calls 4-5 urban bodies and then disperses funds to
Right,
them.
right.
But what we are seeing is that because the event is
So you
such
see,
a big
that's how it happens. The tourism department disperses the funds
Yes.
to the civic bodies.
civic body.
Okay.
But the civic bodies each civic body has its own committee which looks after this thing.
Right.
And because the event is such a big, the civic body raises funds over and above that,
Right.
which then go
To supplement this, yes.
Supplement this.
Yes, yes, yes.
So when you reach that level, what happens is that the product which is being put out, or the celebration being put out, is increasingly being alienated by local people from local community.
Right.
So to bring that local participation back was the idea of having this Carnival the Pope. Now, if various civic bodies, or even panchayats can come out with a plan, we want it, I think that would be the right way to go about it, that this is what we are going to lay out
Absolutely, correct.
and put it on the tourism department, 6 months before Carnival. But for that, everyone has to organize and put it.
And everything should be planned, sealed even
Yes.
even if not 6, at least 3 months before. Finish everything now.
So I think what a lot of the organizers who did this thought the concept was that we would try this year, see where we stand, and then we can take it forward to getting it back.
Right.
But unfortunately, it's being killed in childbirth right now.
Rajab, do you think that in spite of what people are sensing is going to happen, and we hope that everybody is wrong and better sense prevails and so on and so forth, as people are saying, but the issue is that rather than blame just the government and the system, as you very rightly said, don't you think that at the end of the day, people, voters and others, all of them need to get together and try to have a different system, because it is also in the hands of the people to change it.
No, I don't agree, because see, the governance is such
Right.
that if you try to do something which is good,
Right.
and which the government doesn't want, because government is not interested in doing anything good and putting people together.
Right.
I'm very convinced about this. The law and order mission will immediately come and say you have not taken permission.
Right. Right.
You get what I'm trying to say. How can I volunteer? Today we have reached a stage that you speak this side, you are reading the other side. So how can you come together? You see, now if these people come together, actually, it would have actually, I'm so, what do you call that, excited about when I came to know about this
Right.
yesterday.
Right.
And you're not granting permission to a Goan village within the city, which you can't get in the villages, is something very shocking. and it only gives you the mindset of the government in which direction they want to do. They don't care for your closeness, your community happiness. No, nothing of that sort. How do I get to make money? Is the chance. If you give this to the government tomorrow, and they come to know that here they are getting more crowd, and they will take over this also. And they will not allow you next year to do it. They will come with some casino float this side and all confusion.
Sujay Bab, if the municipalities are getting the funds, why not the panchayats?
That's what I
Now, fully agree
mentioned.
with you and
Correct.
Jagbab views.
Right.
If the municipalities are getting the funds to organize the carnival or Shigma parade, why not the panchayats? So it's government has to do some research on this and make guidelines.
There has to be a will to do it.
And it has to
There
be
doesn't need research.
Yeah, I would just say that it would be better to approach it the other way because the government doesn't have the capacity to do research. It just acts on what is put up before it. The villages themselves come out with a plan, like Anil Bab is doing this for Keltia.
Right.
And then let it go before tourism department and people should start.
Jagbab, we organize KID, and KID is mostly sponsored by the MLAs, ministers, and the Zilla members, Panchis and Sarpanchis. They sponsor. Otherwise, this would have been died.
Right.
Dead.
So, yeah.
No, so the point that I'm trying to make is rather than leave it to the will or the happiness factor of individual politicians, okay, or the pleasure of different politicians, I think that for an institution like this or institutions like these, they need to function through a proper institutional process where nobody has to go and put their arms in front of anybody or expect any largesse coming from anybody. This should be a matter of right and happiness that should happen in a normal course. That every year the carnival is here, the panchayats get fund to celebrate it, the municipalities have enough funds, people can do what they want without any kind of controversy or mess and so on and so forth. And throughout the year, musicians, artists, theatrists, they should be continuously supported in an institutional way. That's right. Timothy, tell me, in the last maybe 10 to 15 years, have you been consulted by anybody to, give your views, give your ideas on how the carnival tradition should be protected?
Many people come to me, asking ideas to organize this thing, not only carnival, regarding culture, folk dance, and all these things. And I always suggest them, and they do what I do.
Right.
After liberation, there was no the carnival stopped,
Right.
and the carnival stopped, and only the Panji, Club National, Club Vastukam, Panji, and Club Harmony at the Margaon, they kept carnival
Alive. Yes.
and go and popular. They was making matu, pandal, and tinga sware kottale. This was this thing after liberation.
Right.
Then before liberation, there was many horse gadi.
Right.
Horse gadis, there was like the rickshaw stand, like that.
Songa.
Yes. Then a horse gadi in the corners. And what about especially the Europeans with families sitting on the horse gadi.
Right.
They was roaming
All over the
city.
place. Yes.
That was actual this thing
Those
before,
days, right.
those days.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And after after sometimes this carnival has improved considerably. This period after the North Goa and South Goa, then five
Cities.
centers then started.
cities,
Panji,
yes.
Margaon, Vasco, Ponda,
Mapsa.
Mapsa.
Yes.
Then later the government was sponsoring all these things.
Correct. But tell me, since when are you not participating at all because of age and other reasons? When did you stop being a part of the party?
I am,
Which year?
I am now 87 years old.
Right.
And 50 only last 22 something problem. This thing I was not member.
Right.
In
In 22 years.
For more than 50 years, I done albarat,
Right.
rooming
In the morning.
with brass
Early
band.
In the morning, early in the morning.
early-
For 50 years you've done this.
For more than 50 years. Every year, with brass band. And later on, enthusiasm has increased. And one side, my brother with my side brass band, other side, my other brother with sound system.
In the village.
Everywhere.
In Punjab.
Around, because our other is timing 5 to 6.
Correct.
5 to 6.
So you had to move
Otherwise,
around Panjim?
within 1 hour, whatever.
Was particular spot
No, I was roaming from all these things.
in an open truck or pickup or something?
Solon.
Brass band
Brass band,
on
okay.
the truck.
Okay.
No, on the tempo.
Tempo, yeah. That's what I said,
Tempo.
Right.
Tempo, I thought it
It's
was.
brass band. But within 1 hour, whatever, only city.
In Mapsa, there is a chapel
Right.
known as Swiss Chapel.
Yes.
It would start there.
Yes.
I
Yes,
see.
You started there.
that was center of carnival.
Carnival.
Right.
Is it? In Mapsa.
Then
Which till today it is known as Swiss Chapel.
Right.
You see?
So we are kind of okay. Please carry on, yes.
for more than 50 years, I done this thing. Then government tourism, it was taking my on the office for many years, from my office to tourism to organize carnival and also Sigmo. I was
Both sides.
50, 60 years also Sigmo. And then for 8 days or 10 days, they were taking to.
The moment he goes up, you start that there.
Right.
When he goes up, you start that. You go.
Right.
Really, your spirit is great.
Yeah, amazing.
Great spirit.
Yeah.
And
No,
it is an honor for us to be a part with
That's
you.
so true. That is so true.
Yeah, he looks younger than us.
Yeah.
Now it's-
While, of course, we've heard some gems from him and you as well. While we are winding up this little discussion, where do you see the future going and what needs to be done to keep the spirit alive?
Trajan Bab will be the best person to tell on this.
Ah.
So what we have to do, now the government has to make some guidelines, and with this guidelines for carnivals, and they have to give the permission. Now the another thing, the problem is facing by the people
Right.
for this carnival is the timings.
Right. Okay.
Now the time they had given, permissions already given, up to
10
10
o'clock,
period.
10:30. Yeah.
Now we are having 5 plays. One is at 9 o'clock we start, second is 11, third is 3 o'clock, next is 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Suppose 9:30 it starts. So 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 3 hours we need. So this 10 o'clock it won't be suitable.
To finish your theatre.
Yeah,
Correct. These are practical issues. At least on these days, there should be some relaxation.
There should be relaxation,
Correct.
but I sincerely believe that in deep villages like Kankona and all this, the government machinery, unless the police station has become such that you give them something
Right,
and they
right.
close their eyes,
Right.
but they will not interfere, I
Right,
believe,
right.
or they should not interfere
Correct.
in this type of
Festivities,
you see,
yes.
but then today, to be in that police station, I have paid very heavy price, so I have to also recover.
Right.
So get anything you get, you squeeze everybody. This has become honest people are squeezed today. You see,
So what is the way forward?
way forward is very with this type of mindset. It would be just a dream in a pipeline. You know, just that we can speak a lot of beautiful words. It should be this way and it should be that way. I, for one, seeing the system, there is no chance of any improvement. It's getting worse and worse and worse. Unless I want to tell me, yes, put guidelines that you have said. That's guideline. The more the guidelines, the more the corruption. The more the rules, the more the corruption.
It sounds a little grim and pessimistic, but maybe this is reality.
It's a reality. You have to, and I like to speak the reality,
Yeah.
not give somebody
Jack,
some
before
false
we-
dreams.
Right. Jack, before we wind up, few lines essentially on, do you see some light at the end of the tunnel? What can people get to do? What can the community still do to see that all hope is not lost?
No, I think you have to keep on trying somewhere. You keep on knocking at a door, it will eventually open. And I think another way to look at it is seeing after this year's experience is that everyone who's enthusiastic of celebrating it, whichever village and all, comes up with a small plan. And if we can get it ready this year, next we can sort of form a strong group which will go out and organize this village by village or whatever.
Right.
And I would like to use this platform to make this appeal to come out with this plans as early. You can coordinate with people from South Tome or any other area. And we'll see how it goes. Coming back to this year, we're still hopeful. We got 2 hours for the collector to respond. Hopefully the MLA hears us from here.
Our
Then we'll have to
prayers
thank Herald for seeing Carnival, the Pope go ahead.
Well, we've had a beautiful, heartwarming discussion with a bit of sadness, but a lot of happiness as well. But if we need any example or inspiration of hope across so many years and the right spirit, we have Timon Bab with us, who at his ripe young age of 87 has taught us what the carnival spirit is all about. And it's just not those 5 days, but he has lived his life as if it were a carnival. And that is, I think, most important for somebody to go on for 50 plus years, first as King Momo and then doing what he does throughout the years, and especially getting up early in the morning and performing and doing the alvarad, everything. All these things matter a lot. So the point is, we have him. The same spirit, I think, is there among many people like Anil Baba as well. So the idea here is to take hope and take a lot of inspiration from great minds and hearts like this, and hopefully the thing is the system itself, whether they're people in power, out of power, social activists, politicians, writers, people associated with art and culture, to understand that, look, beyond everything else, we are still one community. And if you look at the years before 61 or even after 61, if we take out the frills of governance and systems, we are simple people living in a small land, which is a dot in the hemisphere, but for people here, this is life. And communities make our culture. So, and Goa has, in spite of being such a small little dot next to the ocean, has stood its place not just in India but across the world. And people come here for our unique charm and customs and traditions and festivals, and carnival is a huge draw. And and it all started because somebody like Timon Bab decided to just go one day to in the middle of the street, call his friends and start walking and dress himself as King Momo. It started off as in such a simple manner that he told us. And the fact that he chanced upon that Brazilian magazine from Rio, saw the carnival, and he, his heart said that let us replicate it in Goa. And in his own simple way, he just got a few people and walked, and that's how the carnival started. Very few people forget the simplicity of the carnival. And if you contrast that with the complexities and the ugliness, we have really come a long way down, not a long way up.
That's what
And I think that is what hurts. And I think this is not supposed to be a blame game or pointing out that so and so has betrayed and so has not. That's not the intention. But at the same time, it is important to call a spade and underline the fact that the spirit of the carnival is getting killed if you kill the spirit in which it was envisaged and how it was celebrated. I think on that note, I thank all our panelists, and we hope that we continue to celebrate and relive and enjoy the spirit with which Timon Bab, Anil Bab, everybody, Tajan Bab as a young child who dressed up as a girl and so on and so forth. Difficult to imagine though. and Jack as well for his inputs. I thank all of you, and we all hope that we can say Viva Carnival in 2 days from now and enjoy ourselves to the best of our abilities.
Thank you,
so
CMO.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.